Professor P.K. Singh, Professor and ex-head of the Department of Civil Engineering, IIT BHU Varanasi. The topic is One Health Approach, an indicator of evolving consciousness. Professor Prabhat Kumar Singh is serving as Professor of Environmental Engineering in the Department of Civil Engineering at IIT BHU, Varanasi. He obtained his BTech in Civil Engineering from Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh in 1986 and MTech in Civil Engineering from IIT Roorkee in 1988 with specialization in environmental engineering. After that, he started his professional career in 1987 as Assistant Engineer, Water Resources Department, Government of Bihar. He obtained his PhD in Civil Engineering from IIT Kanpur in the year 2000. After serving the Government of Bihar for more than 17 years, he joined the Department of Civil Engineering, IIT BHU, as Reader in 2004. He became professor in June 2010. He served as Head Department of Civil Engineering, IIT BHU from March 2016 to December 2019. His research interests include drinking water quality, with an emphasis on arsenic, fluoride, and nitrate contamination in groundwater sources, environmental decision support system for solid waste engineering and management, water for development planning, and smart cities, river health assessment and restoration, metallic contamination in river sediments and risk assessment, emerging pollutants, etc. He is a member of American Society of Civil Engineers, Institution of Engineers India, and Indian Water Resources Society, Roorkee. He has been actively involved with programs of Bhaktivedanta Institute, Kolkata, and delivered talks on the topics related to health, environmental ethics, and sustainability.
When I was doing my civil engineering, I approached my guru. I did my engineering from Aligarh Muslim University. And then I asked him, sir, all the civil engineering is very hard. Talks about concrete, steel, everything. Can I be something soft and related with life? Then, very sincerely, he advised me to come closer to life, learn about human health perspectives. And from there, I took a side which moves through this health aspect. I talk and learn, keep on learning the area of water supply, wastewater collection systems, treatment, everything, simply because of the reason, as a civil engineer, that creates environmental infrastructure which protects human health. So as a civil engineer, this is our responsibility to ensure good health for the people. When person falls sick, then he goes to the doctor and the doctor prescribes him medicines and he becomes fine. Once he becomes fine, once again, it is the responsibility of civil engineers that he has to be kept healthy. So from that perspective, I have been related with this health aspect. I do not know, I cannot say anything, but I know very little about this consciousness. But because I thought that I should not sound very full, I thought I should add consciousness word, at least in the title, to start with. So I thought an indicator of evolving human consciousness. What I have shown there, that is, it is a great acceptance, at least to my mind, that this World Health Organization has done. Instead of focusing only on public health or personal health, it has gone beyond. And now it is accepting and appreciating that we must have one health approach for humans, animals, and environment. So they are coming with this one health approach since 2007 onwards. I will be talking just a little bit of that, and then I will be trying to connect with myself. how do I see? And then how it connects with the evolution of human consciousness to say. So this is a conference on science of consciousness. And really speaking, I simply want to escape from this. I have some discrete thoughts, and I want to be honest that I do not know much about that. However, I should be honest enough to tell what I feel about the consciousness. So, to my thought, consciousness is is a property of soul. It gives pleasure potency to the self and extend the soul beyond self. Inquiry, love, and service are fundamental properties of the soul. Inquiry, what to inquire, to whom to love, and to whom to serve are the basic questions indicating evolution of consciousness. Mind, intelligence, brain, awareness, etc. are related with the body and not with the consciousness. This is what, in the clear terms, without confusing my own self, I understand. Question: can we search happiness through health and well-being? The outline of this presentation is definition of health by World Health Organization, a critique of the definition of health, a state of well-being. The World Health Organization defines it as a state of well-being. Physical, mental, and social. What is this One Health approach after that? Then, sometimes back, I was given a responsibility rather to talk on environmental ethics. So I was learning that, and I will bring some issues from there. What is this anthropocentric and biocentric worldviews? Today, the whole world, the resource distribution, the marketing, everything is running around these two worldviews. And that creates the issue of environmental ethics. Then, the biggest challenge which this environmental ethics faces as on today is they are not in a position to define what is a person. And they say that the ethics can be applied only to the person. Ethics cannot be applied to animals or trees or anything. If we cannot define person, there is no question of applying environmental ethics. Good. That creates a lot of issues in environmental practices today. Then I will come on One Health approach from a consciousness perspective, how we see that, and then I will give some concluding remarks on that. So definition of health as per the World Health Organization, 1948. WHO was established at that point of time. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So from clinical medicine perspective, initially it was thought that absence of disease is health. But this is not a positive definition. So in order to make it positive, it excluded not merely the absence of disease or infirmity, rather it is a complete physical, mental, and social well-being. A state of a person indicates the circumstances. It should not be interpreted as a mental state only. That is a kind of feeling. This is the latest writing by Sham. He says, we are talking about a state. It is not only a feeling, it is a creation of condition. So if we create a condition, we facilitate it, we promote it, we improve it. So it is a state. In clinical medicine, health is often understood as absence of disease. Health over and above the absence of disease is not usually the focus of clinical medicine. If there is no disease, then that is sufficient to establish health. WHO defines health with the largest degree of well-being, that is with perfect well-being. Complete well-being might be understood as a state that is exhaustive of all constituent features of well-being. These are physical, mental, and social aspects. It may be called holistic approach. So this definition of WHO health has been a matter of discussion and criticism, critique for since those 1948 days. Thus, WHO endorses a holistic account of health, not a perfectionist account. This is the latest article in that health has a complete well-being. This came in 2023. And it talks about well-being. Health in terms of well-being, physical well-being, not only absence of disease or infirmity, but ability to sustain the exertion. Today we are talking about, our immunity. Is it a question of health? Is it a question of doctors or what? Where it stands. So in the physical domain it comes. Then mental well-being. If you are stressed or if you have issues related with that, that also comes under the perspective of health. And then, of course, as many of us may be aware, just 1 month ahead, October 10 is celebrated as World Mental Health Day. So mental health is also an issue working, WHO and other organizations are working in relation with the human health. The overall objective is to raise awareness of mental health issues around the world and mobilize efforts in support of mental health. And of course, then the third dimension is social well-being, education, employment, stress management, and many other things, which from the social perspective comes, that is a part of social well-being as per that. Further question, strides from health to happiness. Since 1948-49 to recent, there has been questions whether the word complete intends to include moral values. Some of our authors today morning session, they're talking about human values, moral values. So whether in a scientific term or an organization like WHO should talk moral values and health related issues and all. So whether that is a part of the responsibility or not, this has been a question. And identify health with happiness. How health is related with happiness? Are we closer to happiness? As a part of social responsibility, what are our functions? What are our responsibilities? Are we moving towards that? And then, whether a spiritual being should be a part of objective. WHO discussed very much at length around 1996. It is yet to be finalized, but then it was a part of serious discussion whether a spiritual well-being forms part of responsibility for health consideration or not. Data-based public health challenges as standing in 2004, when this One Health consideration was moving, analysis of data available till 2004 reveal that 60% of known human infectious disease have their source in domestic or wild animals. So animals you cannot exclude if you want to maintain good health for public life. Animal life or its nearness or its well-being has to be included. About 70% of all emerging and re-emerging pathogens are zoonotic, which jump from animals to humans, emerging as a health threat in the form of new disease. So when you're talking about disease and non-disease, the root cause, the cause of diseases are somewhere else. It is not in the human society. So you cannot forget the animal world. Majority of pathogens that are potentially be used, that can potentially be used in bioterrorism are also from animal origin. So from health perspective, from this perspective also, animal health has to be taken into account. So in 2004, September, there was a meeting in Manhattan, USA. And that event was called One World, One Health event. And in this, Wildlife Conservation Society was the organizer, and they deliberated a lot. And then they came with 12 principles, what they say, Manhattan principles, 12 principles coming from Manhattan. And the major outcome, major decision was that there is an interdependence of human, animal, and ecosystem health. You cannot separate humans simply from animal world or environmental world. So health, which was, being seen from a very narrow range of disease, now it is expanding its horizon. It is going away from the human circles. It is inclusive now. Animal world and plant world and all environmental stressors are a part of the consideration when we consider public health. So it writes, solving today's threat and tomorrow's problem cannot be accomplished with yesterday's approach. Perhaps we were making mistakes. We were not on the right track in considering the health issue. So we must devise adaptive, forward-looking, and multidisciplinary solution to the challenges that undoubtedly lies ahead. So in order to come to face the challenges of the future, we must prepare ourselves with expanding thoughts. Then in July 2008, this One Health approach came. This is United Nations document. And 4 organizations, Food and Agriculture Organization, the World Health Organization, World Organization for Animal Health, and the UNICEF. These 4 organizations, which were broadly working in health-related area, they join hands to talk on and work together in a cohesive way for One Health. Defining One Health approach, WHO defined One Health as an approach to designing and implementing programs, policies, legislation, and research in which multiple sectors communicate and work together to achieve better public health outcomes. That means till now, somewhere we were working in a limited domain, limited constrained environment. We have to expand. It is a collaborative, multi-sectoral, transdisciplinary approach which work at local, regional, national, global levels. Why I am talking all these things? Because these organizations create forces, many times may be misdirected also, but then they disturb the equilibrium of the state or the nation or the society. So once these forces or these organizations are working towards with this approach, what is our response coming for the health consideration? One Health is considered with multiple issues, which includes zoonotic disease, of course, because as the data says, 70% of diseases are coming from there. Antimicrobial resistance, food safety and food security, environmental contamination and vector disease, and other health threats shared by people, animal, and environment. Several other fields are indirectly affected and would also benefit from One Health approach, such as injury, occupational health, and non-communicable diseases. Really speaking, I was searching happiness. And as an environmental engineer, somewhere this nature is very close to my heart. I'm quoting Tolstoy. One of the first conditions of happiness is that the link between man and nature should not be broken. You cannot exclude. You cannot be exclusive. Human species cannot be exclusive of the existence. other existence. If we have to be happy, we have to be inclusive. So this One Health approach is based on understanding that humans, animals, and environment are inextricably linked, indicating that the world has suddenly realized. Of course, it is writing suddenly. That means it fails. It realizes that we have lost many years in coming to this point. The interrelation between ecology, animal disease, and public health is striving to restore and maintain harmony and synergy. So there is interconnectedness of human health, animal health, and environmental health. To start with, many of our colleagues may be knowing, when environmental engineering grew, it started basic from sanitation engineering. Then it became public health engineering, and subsequently it grew to be called as environmental engineering. As on today, it is called environmental engineering. So this environmental health, including air pollution, your solid waste management, public sanitation, these are all components of environment, and we have to be sensitive for that if we need to maintain a good health. For myself, since 2019, I was working on river health. Everybody was very fashionable. He will say Ganga is polluted, Yamuna is polluted, every river is polluted. And I'm sick out of that. I don't want to use a negative word. Pollution is never an encouraging word. If somebody says that Ganga is polluted, I feel he is hurting my head. I may feel, if I'm humbled, that river Ganga is sick. We have not left her to be healthy. So I talk on river health. And to my mind, river health is a positive connotation. So I brought a series of international conferences at IIT BHU. We did it in 2019, 2021, and 2023. This figure, the right hand, His Highness, Denmark embassy ambassador is there with us in 2023 RHR. I talk something of this kind, the bottom figure. I show this, the river health, in a colored map form. I say that as an engineer, we must talk 3 M's, measurement, mathematics, and maps. If I cannot do this, I'm not an engineer. So we present maps of river health. My concern with health, broader for public or for river or for environment, goes from this perspective. So I do this conference every 2 years. Environmental health concern and acceptance, a necessity from human health perspective. Environmental health is important because we want to maintain at least this human health. Are we enlarging the scope of our vision? If we do not expand our horizon of thought from humans to other part of the ecosystem, we will be failing in our objectives. Environmental ethics, that moral concern of good or bad, has to be seen in this perspective. This environmental ethics developed as ethics is a part of philosophy. Environmental ethics developed as a part of this branch of understanding around 1970s. What is good and what is not good for non-humans? That is the major area of discussion in this environmental ethics. And there are 2 worldviews. First is Western worldview, which is also called anthropocentric worldview. Humans are at the top of the ladder and anything is lower than that. So you can do anything, everything for humans, in favor of humans, at the cost of anything lower than that. There is another worldview which is the name is deep ecology worldview, which says humans are a part of this existence and all of us are having equal position. So there is no superior or inferior. Now, along these 2 worldviews, why this environmental pollution and other things comes, because we always feel humanity's interest is at the highest, is of the highest importance. We do not mind polluting rivers or polluting anything else, using all our resources for our benefits. So, One Health approach and environmental ethics, question of environmental ethics is, we are considering anthropocentric or biocentric. Moral obligations applicable to persons only. In environmental ethics, people have, they are so wise for escapist nature that they say, no. Environmental ethics will be applied only for persons. Of course, come to Vedantic perspective. In Vedantic perspective, every living system is a person. God, Dharti Mata is a person. The mountains are persons. We worship in that form. However, the Western thinkers do not see those perspectives. And if they are creating a confusion, they create this confusion to safeguard themselves and then, be an enjoyer. So, whether principles of environmental ethics are applicable to animals and trees and forests. So they do not mind, they do not include them as a person. So environmental pollution and other things are not a big problem for them because of fundamental assumption that moral or ethical things do not apply on them. One has the approach why I told how it is related with consciousness, evolution of consciousness. This extends our obligation of humanity to animals, plants, and other environmental concerns. So in that sense, once WHO and the whole world organization is accepting that, that means in some way it is expanding its scope and forgetting those precise definition of who is person, who is not a person, what is personality, what is not a personality. It is going one step ahead. It is coming more closer to biocentric approach, but to my mind, I'm still trying to convince myself, but I'm still not convinced. It is still in the interest of public health you are talking about, that animals' health and environmental health should be considered. So to my mind, it is still anthropocentric, although it is coming more closer to biocentric. One Health approach from human consciousness perspective. So when I was writing this, I thought, should I be happy? An indicator of evolving consciousness with a question mark. Should I say that it is an evolving human consciousness or an opportunity to evolve human consciousness? To my mind, it is still not an indication of evolving human consciousness because it's still anthropocentric in nature. It is human-centric, in favor of humans. However, it gives us a better opportunity for that matter to evolve human consciousness. Once again, these figures I have taken from the small booklet which has been given in all our registration kit, the book on consciousness. I have taken this only from there. Consciousness is a property of soul at the topmost level there. It gives pleasure potency as I have written as my thought. I have developed my consciousness to that level only. It gives a pleasure potency to the self and extends soul beyond the self. Until and unless I come at that level, if I'm at lower level, I cannot say I have an elevated consciousness. The self must extend beyond its existence. Inquiry, love, and service are fundamental properties of self. What to inquire, to whom to love, and to whom to serve are basic questions indicating evolution of consciousness. Mind, intelligence, brain, and awareness are related to body and not consciousness. Yes, I've finished. And then there is next, which once again I'm taking from the same reference book which I have. there are 5 levels of consciousness evolution. Trees, plants are called with achadit consciousness or covered consciousness. Worms, insects, and other animals are with sankuchit consciousness. Human beings are at muklit consciousness. That means budding. It has the potential to improve. Human beings inquiring about absolute truth has vikshit consciousness or blooming consciousness, and self-realized souls are purna vikshit. Now, out of these, if human beings are at budding level, if it includes trees and plants and worms, it is not evolution of consciousness. Rather, possibly we can say we have been more inclusive. We are no more exclusive. But then I cannot, for myself, I cannot judge and tell it is an evolution or indicator of improving. So revisiting the title of my talk is One Health Approach and Indicator to Evolving Human Consciousness, with a concluding remark that adopting one health approach across the world since 2008 may not necessarily be an indicator of evolving human consciousness, but certainly an opportunity for evolving human consciousness. Quadripartite partnership of WHO, WOAH, FAO, and UNICEF should be used to work together not only for people, animal, and environment from anthropocentric perspective, but from the service for the whole existence. That is my expectation and wish. Our prayer, I'm taking one simple sloka from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, which is called Lok Shema Mantra. Sampurna Vishwa Kalyan ke liye mantra hai. Om sarve bhavantu sukhina sarve santu niramaya sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kasid dukh bhagya bhavit. Om shanti shanti shanti. Meaning is that may everyone be happy, may everyone be healthy, may everyone see goodness and auspicious in everything, may no one be unhappy or distressed. We are praying for everything, person, animal, atom, energy, quanta that exist. We are praying for the welfare of the entire universe with no exception for us or another. When we pray for all, we pray for ourselves too. This prayer is really a reminder for our universal self. And we pray so we may be joined with the whole again. This is an opportunity. So when I see this one health approach, I see it from this evolving concept of human consciousness. Thank you very much for your patience.